Well, our seventh and final tour of our wonderful 7 villages concludes today in Barnstable Village. And today we're joined by the president of the Barnstable Village Civic Association, Matt Brissett, who will be our tour guide through the village today. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much for having me.
Now, Matt, let's just start with a little bit about the character of Barnstable Village. What drew you to the village? What do you find so appealing about it?
Well, there's a lot to talk about with Barnstable Village. I think specifically, for me personally, what drew me to Barnstable is its kind of quaint feel, but still having a year-round economy that keeps it busy.
What do you think makes it unique as compared to our other 7 villages? Because as we've discovered in this series, all the villages have common ties, but all are so different and so special one to the next.
I think one of the things that makes it very unique is the fact that the county seat is there, so you have a lot of activity from the courthouse. So you don't necessarily have a lot of commercial activity in the sense of Hyannis or maybe Osterville, but you have this consistent presence of the county courthouse complex that drives a lot of daily activity, but you still have this very quaint village tied to a marine business area. So you have 2 active marinas, you have this great little inner harbor, but it's still a quiet little spot, even despite all that activity going on.
Of course, there's plenty of history to be found anywhere in the town of Barnstable, but it seems to me, anyway, that one of the great strongholds of history in this town, and really on Cape Cod, is in Barnstable Village, due in part to the Old Kings Highway jurisdiction, but also because of the things that you mentioned with Lou Cataldo and the Tales of Cape Cod and the Tracer Museum and the Coast Guard Museum and the old jail. It all seems to be concentrated in that one small area.
That's right. And I think one of the things that surprised me when I became involved as the Civic Association president was how much activity is going on with those organizations, like the Coast Guard Museum, like Tales. I was unaware of the history of Tales of Cape Cod and Lou Cataldo's extraordinary founding of this speaker series and collection of memorabilia. It's just really a unique aspect, as you say, concentrated in a small area. One of the things that the old jail complex, I think that the Treasury Museum that houses the Coast Guard Heritage Museum and the old jail gets short shrift in a lot of ways because there's some really great history right there that a lot of people don't know about. Now, maybe us in the village don't want everybody coming to 6A, but for the most part, it would be nice to have a little more publicity for those types of activities.
Sure. Well, obviously, one of the Civic Association's duties, as it is in every civic association, is to promote the village and work on its behalf. Talk to me a little bit about the mission of the Barnstable Village Civic Association and what you guys are trying to accomplish.
Sure. The mission, since I've been involved, and we approached our membership about 2 years ago with a revision of the mission statement and a revision of our bylaws. And what we came up with was a reinvigorated focus on community event programming and a facilitation of the various groups in Barnstable Village, nonprofits and other civic groups. There are 2 others that kind of concentrate, and I can mention those, but a coordination of activities between all of the groups in the Barnstable Village area to try and basically make it a better place to live and a better place to visit, so that we all are headed in the same direction. In addition to that, there's obviously a small advocacy piece as well. And I should say small, but I think that's a growing piece of what we do, is to advocate with the town government about the village and how we can try and drive maybe more resources towards things like the bulkhead repair that happened last year. We play a role in those types of things that are going on in our village. A controversial project that's going on right now is the Freezer Point project. We have not reached consensus within our own organization, but we certainly have something to say about it. And we've been at the hearings to express that opinion. But the mission for the Village Civic Association is really about community event programming first, and then coordination of activity from that point. For instance, we do a ice cream social in August. We do obviously we partner with West Barnstable Civic Association to do the 4th of July parade. Really an extraordinary event. It's every year I am more and more excited about it. It is just a slice of what's best about this country. It's an extraordinary event, and I know that everyone feels that way about their 4th of July parades, but I think we have something special going on in Barnstable Village. So we have that. We have a Touch a Truck event, which is a great family event for kids. We get trucks from all over the Cape that let kids climb all over them, those kinds of things. Our holiday stroll in December. This year, for the first year, we're going to be doing a fall festival. We've done ham and bean supper, reinvigorated it for the first time this year in a few years. The fire department used to take it on, and we've kind of taken it on from them. Mm-hmm. So we try to have something every season for families in the village to come together, get to know each other a little better, and develop community ties. And that's really the goal of what we're trying to achieve.
I've had a chance to attend some of those events, and just like many of our other villages in Barnstable, it seems to me that there's a great sense of community spirit and togetherness amongst the year-round folks in Barnstable Village. Would you agree with that or no?
I would absolutely agree with that. One of the things that we suffer on the Cape is from November to May, you don't see your neighbors.
Yeah.
And so we try really hard to combat that a little bit with our holiday stroll and ham and bean supper in March. We try to get people out of their houses in the wintertime. But it's a really strong. I think there are two centers of activity in Barnstable that are year-round residents focused. One is obviously the elementary school.
Sure.
A lot of people become involved in the community through that avenue. And then, of course, through the things like the Civic Association or the Business Association or the Friends of Barnstable Harbor. Those all drive a lot of community spirit, and we just try to pick up on that and help facilitate that, I think. And we welcome the tourists, and that's why we all get to live here. So that's even if you don't benefit from the dollars directly, the reason that we all are able to have a place here is because of tourism dollars, and so we try never to lose sight of that too.
Sure. Now, speaking of tourism, the season is upon us now officially. If you were spending a whole week in Barnstable Village, and granted there's a lot more to see in Barnstable, but we're talking about your village today. If you were spending a whole week there, what would be your top 3, 4, 5 places that you would absolutely have to spend some time if you were spending a week?
Sure. Well, let's take a little tour. As a tourist, what the first thing they should do is drive down to Millway Beach if they've got a beach sticker, if they can manage to finagle one out of their landlord.
That's right.
And if not, park and walk down from wherever they're staying. Go to Millway Beach, grab some fish and chips at Osterville Fish 2, the little fish shack down by the harbor, and then maybe walk up to the Coast Guard Museum, check out the old jail, see where they've got the carvings from the old Witta pirate ship captives that were held there.
Yeah.
Walk across the street to the Arts Association, take in some culture there, which is really an extraordinary missed jewel. I think a lot of people aren't aware of it. It's a great spot. Mm-hmm. And then maybe walk down to the Dolphin or the Barnstable Tavern for lunch or the Village Landing and enjoy what we have to offer there. And I always recommend people sit on the courthouse lawn there in front of the Superior Court. Maybe have a coffee from Nirvana, grab something from the general store perhaps, and just don't leave the town before they get a chance to experience the waterfront, maybe a whale watch out of the harbor, and also making sure that they stop at Tales of Cape Cod and Sturgis Library. I mean, I think those things that we have to offer are really the top of the list. So.
Well, Matt, you've been a great tour guide today, and if anybody feels inspired as a result of watching our program here and wants to join you and the rest of the Civic Association, how can they do that?
The best way to join us is go to our website, www.barnstablevillage.org, and we have our calendar there out for the year. We have a comments question, and certainly you can send information to our contact for frequently asked questions. And we also have a membership form, so we'd love to have anybody welcome any membership for Barnstable Village. We also have associate members for non-residents. So,
well, Matt, once again, thanks so much for spending some time with us. You've been an excellent tour guide, and we definitely appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
Yep.